Abby and I will be your yoga teacher for today. So for this class we have a hips focus theme, so we will be kind of flowing a little bit, getting into slightly more mobility movements, and then also a few little longer holds, getting a little bit more into the flexibility of the hips. So if you are ready, if you have any props, maybe bring in a block in. If you have 2 blocks, they could be really useful. And yes, just remembering as we move through the flow today, just really being mindful with each posture, making sure it feels right for our body. Feel free to skip any postures that don't feel good for you today. And also, every time we come back to the mat, we are going to be feeling a little bit different. And so many of us kind of struggle a little bit with the hips, so with tightness, with tension through the hips. So again, just being really mindful of that and just taking it as far as you would like to today. So we will get started, and we are going to begin in a wide leg child's pose today. So just gently coming down, easing yourself towards the back of your mat, bringing the knees wide. And you can already, if you would like to, bring your props in. So if you have a bolster, you can use that to get really comfortable. You can bring a block underneath the head. We just want to make sure that as we begin, we start from a place of real comfort. So we're not kind of straining too much in any way. We want to be able to really relax into this posture. So when you are ready, just gently releasing the forehead down towards the mat. If it reaches the mat, allowing it to rest there. If not, if it feels comfortable to hover, we can do that. Or you can, as I mentioned, bring that block in for a little bit more support. And we're just going to begin by taking a few really nice, full, deep breaths. So breathing through the nose, taking those inhales. With each inhale that we take, feel the rib cage expand, feel the body lengthen. And with each exhale, allowing the chest to maybe melt down a little bit more towards the mat. Having that check-in with how we are feeling today. Noticing any areas of tension, of tightness. But maybe also bringing the attention to any areas that already feel good. We'll take a quick body scan here. So taking an inhale through the nose, and then on that exhale, drawing the attention to that hip space, the inner hips, the outer hips. Notice how they feel. And then on your next exhale, can we begin to soften there, bring our attention to that hip space. Maybe starting to release gently into the posture. And then bringing our focus, our attention into the back. And again, just notice, first of all, with these first few breaths here, just notice how the spine is feeling. And then with each exhale, can we release the chest a little bit lower? Can we soften? And then bring in the attention to the shoulders. Firstly, noticing any areas of tension there through the shoulders, and then with each breath, allowing the armpits to rest down towards the mat, release the shoulders. So often throughout our days, without even realizing it, we're walking around or we're sitting, holding on to this tension. So even here, this is enough just to bring our focus there and just to begin to let go.
Finally, let's bring the focus, the attention to the face, the space between the eyebrows, the jaw. And now with each exhale, try and relax that space, try and soften through the jaw. Take in one more deep breath. And then slowly we're going to begin to lift the forehead, gently walking the hands back just a little bit. Feel free to take any little wiggles there into the hip space. And then we're going to begin to roll the body forward, bringing the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, coming into our tabletop position. And again, every time we move, feel free to take any other extra little stretches, movements, whatever feels good in your body today. So just to begin, we're going to send that right leg all the way out to the side. And we're going to take a few variations of our cat-cow with this leg extended here. So when you are ready, take an inhale, lift the chest, lift the sit bones, drop the belly. And then exhale to reverse. Inhale to lift and lengthen. And exhale to reverse. We'll go for 2 more just like that. So inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the sit bones. And then exhale, bring it in. Last one. Inhale to lift. And exhale to reverse. Lovely. On your inhale, bringing it back to that neutral spine. We're just going to lift the right leg and see if we can sweep it all the way back, bending into that right knee, flex the right foot, and then push the heel up towards the ceiling. We're trying not to roll onto that left hip too much. It's going to happen a little bit. Try and keep the hips squared, neutral, taking one more breath. And then just begin to open that right leg out to the side with the knee bent and see if we can slowly begin to step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. Whew. Walking the hands forward slightly and just finding a little bit of movement there as we come into our lizard. So maybe a little bit forwards and backwards, maybe circles. And then in your own time, finding wherever you would like to be in this pose today. So we might be staying on the hands. You might want to bring that block in for a little bit of extra height. Maybe we bring it onto the forearms. Wherever we are, we're just here for a couple of breaths, just easing into this inner hip space, but also beginning to wake up through the front of the left hip as well. So inhale, still thinking about lengthening, and then exhales, just allowing the body to release into the posture. Couple more breaths. Okay, if we're not already on the hands, let's slowly bring it up. We're going to keep that left hand planted down towards the mat, bringing the right hand just gently to the inside of that right thigh and just begin to encourage it out. You might want to come onto the pinky toe if that feels good. And then take an inhale, lift the right arm up. And then exhale, sweeps that right arm behind. Option there is to keep the right arm reaching into the twist, or maybe we bend in that back foot. Final variation, if it feels good, we'll maybe take a grab of that left ankle, left foot, and just gently ease the foot towards us. And then hold there, 2 more breaths. Slowly trying to release if we've got hold of that foot with control. Reach the right hand all the way up and over. Plant the hands down at the front of the mat, and then we're going to sweep that right leg all the way back. We're back in our tabletop. So again, just adjust the stance, take any little wiggles through the middle, and we're just going to take that to the other side. So when you're ready, left leg comes out. And again, we'll go for those cat-cows 4 here. So inhale to lift the chest, lift the sit bones, and exhale to reverse. Inhale finds that length. Exhale, bring it in. 2 more there. Inhale to lift and lengthen. And exhale, reverse. Last one. And bring it in. Inhale takes us back to that neutral spine. We're going to begin to lift the left leg and then sweep it all the way back, popping a bend in that left knee. And then flex the left toes, really trying to push that heel up towards the ceiling as we try as best we can to keep the hips squared. We hold it there. And one more breath. And then this one, it can feel a little bit crampy as we take that left leg out to the side, knee stays bent. And then as best we can, we sweep the left foot all the way around to the outside of the left hand. And again, finding that movement. So this doesn't need to, again, look any certain way. Just kind of feel into the body, what feels good there, what begins to create a little bit more space. And then in your own time, let's bring it into our lizard pose on this side. So again, we might want to stay up on the hands today. You might want to bring that block in, maybe onto the forearms. Oh, nearly went. And then just ease yourself down again. And just notice as well, do you have any slight differences between the sides? That is completely normal. We just want to be aware of it, keep creating this body awareness every time we come back to the mat, every time we practice. So just holding it there for a couple more breaths. And again, think about lengthening through the chest. And then gently easing the body down into the posture. Lovely, let's go for 2 more there. And then when you're ready, again, bringing it onto the hands. And keeping that right hand down on the mat as we take the left hand to the inside of that left thigh. And just gently encourage the leg out. Maybe coming onto the pinky toe if that feels good, but just easing it as far as we need to get that stretch. And then on your next inhale, let's release the left arm all the way up. And then exhale to take it back. Option again, maybe we stay there just working into this twist, or maybe we bend the back knee. That final variation, if you went for it on the other side, maybe going for that grab of the ankle of the foot. You can take a little bit of movement there. And then just holding it in, really feeling both into the twist. And if we've gone for that grab of the foot, adding in that hip flexor, quad stretch there as well. One more breath. And then slowly with control, if we can, releasing that right foot down to the mat. Sweep the left arm up and over. Plant the left hand down on the mat. Sweeping that left leg back, coming onto the knees. Take one more breath there, taking any little wiggles that we need. And then in your own time, we're going to bring it up into our first downward facing dog. So when we get there, taking that pedal through the feet, the shake of the head, anything that just, again, begins to create a little bit of space through the body here. So some of us might prefer to go with this kind of movement. You might want to even lift the legs, twist. Or maybe you prefer to just breathe into this stillness, really sending the chest back towards the thighs, relaxing through the head, through the neck, really push down through the fingertips, through the base knuckles. And as always, in our downward dog, knees can be really bent, heels can be lifted. We'll stay here for one more breath. And then on our next inhale, right leg lifts. We will pop a bend in that knee and begin to open up again through that right hip. You might want to be high on the left toes. Again, just whatever feels good. And we'll take 3 circles with that right knee. So just bring the knee around one way. And then 3 back the other way. Lovely, lifting that right leg high, come high on the left toes now. Inhale, look forward. Exhale as best we can. We're going to step that right foot towards the right thumb and then lower the back knee. Inhale, finds Anjaneyasana, come into your low lunge. And then exhale, interlacing the fingers. We're just going to pop the hands on that right thigh and just gently begin to ease into that hip space. So gently bringing that knee forward. Maybe a little bit of movement there. And then we're going to take a few waves. So you've got two options here. If you have your blocks, you might want to bring them in, bring in one block either side, or we can do this with the arms lifted. So again, just seeing which variation works better for you today. But when you are ready, I'm going to bring it back through neutral. Take a deep breath in there. And then on the exhale, bring it all the way back. Find half split. Maybe sweeping the arms back or maybe bringing the hands to blocks. Inhale brings us forward. Either reach the arms up or hands stay on the blocks. And then exhale to take it back. Let's go for two more like that. Inhale to lift and lengthen, just easing into that hip space. And exhale, send it back. Flex the right toes. Inhale to lift. And exhale, sends it back. Hold there in your Ardha Hanumasana or half split, and we'll just stay there for a couple of breaths. So think about inhale to lengthen the chest. Exhale to fold. Really pulling that right leg back into the hip socket. One more breath. And then inhale, let's walk the hands forward, frame that right foot. We're going to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and then rise all the way up into our high lunge now. So option there, you can have a little bend in the back knee, or you can keep pushing that left heel away from you. Really lengthen up through the sides of the waist, taking one more inhale there. And then exhale, open it out, find warrior two, spin the back heel down, really lengthen through the arms, reach through the fingertips, and just check in that that front knee isn't wobbling over the toes. Lovely, one more breath. And then looking towards that left foot, we're gonna just slightly point the toes towards the back of the mat. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, we're gonna send it into our Skandasana at the back of the mat. So as we come into this posture, we might be up a little bit higher today. You might wanna rest your hands on a block, or you might wanna bring it down. You can lift the left heel. Wherever feels like just the right amount of stretch here for the inside of the hips. And if we've gone down to the bottom, really trying to use that elbow a little bit to just gently encourage that left knee out. But maybe we are a little bit higher today. One more breath. And then inhale, hands or no hands, as we take it all the way back to that warrior two, front of the mat. Stay for the exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, we're gonna windmill the arms down, framing that right foot. Tuck the back toes under. Walk the hands ever so slightly forward. And again, either bringing hands to a block or the fingertips. And you can take a few steps or one big step coming into our standing split. So take a big breath there. Inhale, lengthens through the chest. And then exhale, maybe we begin to fold it down. Maybe walking the hands slightly closer to the foot for a little bit more balance challenge. Option here also is to bend in that top knee, that left leg. Hold it there. One more breath. Lovely. Take an inhale, walk the fingertips forward, lengthen through the spine, send that left leg back behind. And then exhale, lowers the left foot all the way down to the back of the mat. Plant the left hand down just ahead of that right foot. Take an inhale to lift the right arm, finding that twist. And then exhale, we're going to spin onto the pinky toes of both feet for our revolve Skandasana. Hold there for the inhale, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, can we sweep that right arm back, begin to lower the hips down. Inhale for two, lift and lengthen. And exhale, take it down. Last one there, inhale to lift. And exhale, bring it down. Inhale, sweeps the right arm all the way over. Turn the feet back to face the front of the mat. Plant the right hand down. And we're going to step that right leg back and move through a vinyasa. So knees can be up or down as we lower the chest. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, tuck the toes, wave it back to our downward facing dog. So taking a couple of breaths here, maybe we drop the knees, maybe child's pose. Wherever we are, maybe closing the eyes as well. Just take a few moments to reconnect to that breath. And again, just notice how we're feeling in the body. Notice any differences. We've done a lot of work on that right side. And we're going to balance it out in just a moment. But for now, again, just breathing into this space. One more breath there. And when you're ready, let's take that to the left. So meeting back in our downward dog. We'll take an inhale, left leg lifts. And again, pop a bend in that left knee. And we're going to go for those 6 circles. So 3 one way. When you're ready, just begin. Doesn't matter which way we do first. Open the hip. Keeping the shoulders squared as best we can. And then 3 back the other way. Nice. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, look towards the top of the mat. And once again, as best we can, we bring that knee through and we'll step the left foot towards the left thumb, lowering the back knee now. Inhale, reach the arms up, finding our low lunge. So again, just firm the inner thighs together. Think about lengthening through the sides of the waist. And then take one more deep breath in. And exhale, hands come interlaced on top of that left thigh. We begin to move forward ever so slightly. Should have said this the first round, but any little niggles on the knee there, you can fold your mat over, you can bring a blanket in. Anything just to make it a little bit more comfortable. One more breath there. And then we're going to take it for those half split waves again. So in your own time, take an inhale. And then exhale, begin to straighten through that left leg, flex the left toes, either sweeping the arms behind or rest the hands on blocks. And then inhale to reach the arms up, or again, keeping the hands to blocks. Exhale, send it back. Inhale brings us up for 2. Exhale, send it back, lengthen through the chest. Last one there, inhale, lift. And exhale. Send the arms back or reaching the hands down to the mat or blocks. We pause here for a couple of breaths. So think about pulling that left leg back into the hip socket. Think about lengthening the chest. And then exhale to maybe fold it down. 2 more breaths. When you are ready, bringing that left foot down to the mat, walking the hands forward, and we're going to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Inhale brings us up, finding our high lunge now. Hold it there once again as we firm the inner thighs together, lengthen through the fingertips. Take a deep breath, and one more inhale to reach, and then exhale, open it out, find warrior 2. So again, roll the shoulders back. Gazes over that front middle finger, check in with that left knee, make sure it's not knocking in. And we hold it there, just one more breath. Lovely, looking towards that right foot now as we slightly turn the toes out. We're going to come into that Skandasana at the back of the mat. So either hands at heart center as we bring it down. You might want to rest the hands on a block. Or again, maybe we're up a little bit higher today. Wherever we are, we're just there for a couple of breaths. Once again, just easing into that hip space. And gently encouraging that right knee out. We hold it there. Taking one more breath. And once again, either bringing the hands down to support us up, or we just take it all the way up, back into that warrior 2. Hold there, one breath. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, sweeps the hands all the way down to the mat. Turning the back toes, look forward. And once again, walking the fingertips ever so slightly forward. It might take a few steps or one little step. We lift the right leg up, finding our standing split. So again, we're here for a couple of breaths. So maybe walking the hands in towards us. We don't have to go super high in this standing split as well. We might want to stay a little bit more with the hips squared. And again, option is to bend into that top knee if that feels good. Relax through the head, through the neck. And we'll stay here, just one more breath. Nice, and slowly reach the fingertips forward. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine as we reach the right leg back. And then exhale to step the right foot to the back of the mat. Bringing the right hand down. Take an inhale to lift and lengthen through that left side. Reach the left arm up. And then exhale, spinning onto the pinky toes, of both feet. Inhale to lift and lengthen. And then exhale, drop the hip, reach the arm. Inhale for 2. Exhale, bring it down. One more there, inhale to lift. And exhale, take it down. Inhale, reaches that left arm all the way up. We're going to turn the toes, frame that front foot, plant the hands, step it back. Optional vinyasa there again, knees or toes as we lower. Inhale, lifts, cobra or up dog. And then exhale back to our downward dog. Take a few deep breaths. Again, feel free to drop onto the knees. We are going to start to slow it down a little bit now. So just taking a couple more breaths wherever we are, just to check back in. Again, bring that focus inwards, maybe closing the eyes. And then when you're ready, we are going to come back to downward dog just for our little transition here. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, sweep that right knee all the way towards the right wrist. And then we'll begin to wiggle that left leg back, finding our pigeon pose. So if this feels like we're kind of hovering that right hip quite a lot and that doesn't feel good, a couple of options. We can bring a block underneath the right hip. You might want to pop a bend in that back leg as well. But just really finding a place where we can sort of square off the hips. The further forward that right foot is, the more intense that's going to feel. So it does not need to be in any way parallel with the top of the mat, just finding a place that we can comfortably hold for the next couple of breaths. Reaching the fingertips forward, taking an inhale to lift and lengthen the chest. And then exhale, maybe we begin to fold. Inhale to lift. And exhale to fold. Last one there, inhale, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, if it feels comfortable, we fold it down. You might want to stay up a little bit higher in your pigeon today. You might want to rest the head, the forearms down on a block on the mat. Again, just finding whichever variation works for your body today. Really just making all of these postures work for you rather than vice versa. We're not trying to contort ourselves into any particular shapes. Ultimately, we want to leave the mat feeling good. And that will look slightly different for all of us. So every posture, just moving into it as far as feels good. We're here for a couple more breaths. Can we actively try and release tension through that right hip? Notice if you're clenching in any way. Can we take one more deep breath with the exhale release? Lovely. Inhale, slowly walking the hands back in. And then we're just going to plant the hands down just to switch sides there. So tuck the back toes under and we'll send that right leg all the way back. Maybe having a little pedal through the feet there. And then when you're ready, inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, left knee towards the left wrist as we wiggle that right leg back. Taking your time as we come into this posture to get settled. And again, maybe bringing that block underneath the left hip. And we'll go for just those 3 waves again. So bringing the fingertips forward, take an inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to fold. 2 more there. Inhale, lift. And exhale to fold. Last one. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, maybe walking it down. Again, either to a block, to the mat. Can we begin to slow down that breath even more now? As we come towards the end of the practice, letting the body know it is time to relax, just by slowing that breath, by calming us down, moving towards that relaxed state. So for these next couple of breaths here, again, just allowing each exhale to actively release any tension we might be holding through the hips. We tend to hold our emotional tension in the hips. And again, the hip space can vary so much from day to day, depending on sort of what we've been doing, our activities, through sport, through sitting down. So these hip flows really are some of my favourites to do, just to ease out that tension. One more breath. On your next inhale, let's begin to peel the body up. And once again, we're just going to plant the hands down just so we can tuck the back toe. Sweep that left leg back. Take a final little pedal through the feet. Any wiggles again that just feel good in the body. And then we are going to bring it down to seated, however you would like to get there. So you can lower the knees down. You can take a little jump, however you would like to. We'll come down onto the bottom. And just bring the hands behind. Last little bit before we take it down onto our backs today. Bringing the feet roughly as wide as the mat. Take an inhale to lift and lengthen through the chest. And then just begin to take those little window wipers with the knees. And then bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to roll it all the way down. So just bring the knees with you as you come onto the back. Take a little rock from side to side, giving yourself that nice big hug. And then extending the arms out wide. Let's just pause in a twist for a few breaths. So shift slightly onto the left hip, drop the knees to the left. Maybe head drops across to the right, and a few options. You can cactus the arms there, you can cross the legs. Wherever we are, maybe now closing down the eyes as we just begin to ease into these final few postures. Slow it down. Taking one more deep breath there. And then inhale brings us back through center. Let's shift onto that right hip. And then drop the knees all the way across to the right. And again, if it feels comfortable, head can drop to the left. We close the eyes. And just every breath that we take now, just easing out through the spine into that twist. Relax through the face. And just begin to allow everything once again to soften down. Just taking 1 more deep breath there. And then inhale brings us back through center. Let's shift onto that right hip. And then drop the knees all the way across to the right. And again, if it feels comfortable, head can drop to the left. We close the eyes. And just every breath that we take now, just easing out through the spine into that twist. Relax through the face. And just begin to allow everything once again to soften down. taking one final deep breath there. And then inhale, brings us back to center. Last little bit we'll do here, we'll end with our happy baby. So bring in the legs up, hands either come to the outsides of the feet, but as we come into this posture, if you find that causes the lower back to lift and we're not really getting that stretch that we're looking for on the inside of the hips, another variation is to reach the hands in, maybe grabbing hold of the shins there. Whichever one we're going for, each inhale, think about gently sending that lower back into the mat, and each exhale, maybe pulling the knees slightly towards the armpits. And you might want to take a little sway from side to side, or again, maybe just pause into that stretch. One more breath there. And then slowly release the feet back down all the way to the mat. We are going to come to our Shavasana. So, option if you would like to continue moving, opening up into this hip space, maybe coming into Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together, or any other leg variation that you find more restful today. So you might want to keep the legs extended, maybe soles of the feet to the edges of the mat. And then either resting the hands on the body or allowing the arms to release by the sides, palms face up. And we'll close down the eyes. Let's end here with one final deep clearing breath together. So when you are ready, take an inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. With that sigh, allowing the shoulders to just release heavy into your mat. Relax the full length of the spine. And again, soften the face, relax the jaw. We'll stay here for just a few moments, allowing all of that work that we've done today, the practice, to settle into the body. And taking these final moments of quiet, of stillness for the mind. As we rest here, notice any sensations, any energy we might be feeling moving through the body. Staying for these last few moments in silence. So for now, just allowing yourself as much as you can to fully rest, to relax. Okay, if you have the time and if you would like to, I would definitely invite you to stay in your Shavasana for a little bit longer. But if you would like to move on with your day now, We'll just start to find a little bit of gentle movement, that wiggle of the fingers, of the toes. Maybe a full body stretch, a yawn. And then in your own time, taking it nice and slowly, we're going to bring ourselves back to seated. Keeping the eyes closed if that feels comfortable for you, just for these final few moments, or if you would prefer, we can just lower the gaze down. When you arrive in your seated position, wherever that is, bringing the hands onto the knees. We'll take an inhale, take a big roll back of the shoulders, lengthen through the spine. And we will end with one final releasing breath together to seal our practice today. So bringing the palms together, bow the head in Anjali Mudra. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Ending our practice today with huge thanks, with appreciation for ourselves, for our bodies, but also the practice of yoga that allows us to come here today, to take this time. And when you are ready, opening the eyes. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me in this practice. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please do let me know how you find the practices. But yes, enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And I will hopefully see you again soon. Thank you.